Hello everyone, hope you are well. Until now, whatever you have heard about the mysterious things of this place, if they seem unbelievable or astonishing to you, believe that you are indeed quite remarkable. Because what I'm about to narrate to you now, it all recorded in history books. Otherwise, some of you would doubt the authenticity of this event. The first incident occurred on April 14th, 1561, in the city known as Nuremberg in Germany. It's a major city in 16th century in Europe. So being a major city means that the truth of this event had numerous witnesses in the town. Also, there exists a record of this event in the collection of Nuremberg Chronicle of that city chronicle books. It was written in the form of woodcut at Zurich in Switzerland. So they also printed many booklets about that incident. One of the translation of this book I can tell you. So the translation is: on the morning of April 14, 1561, between 4 or 5 o'clock, we saw an extremely frightening body in the sky, which was witnessed by hundreds of people in that time. First, a half circle of reddish light appeared around the sun, and within it we saw a strange, bizarre, round object in the sky around the sun. Some of these objects had a light, pale color, while other objects extremely black. Some of them were flying individually or some of them flying together. The formation were not in one direction. This means that all of them were not moving in the same direction, but it was irregular. They were moving randomly, such as they were not flying in a structured formation. So these objects were visible in the hundreds, and some of them resemble perfectly round shape, while others were peculiar or kind of cylinder shape. Some of them look very heavy, while others looks very light. Some of the shape were like a cross, that the Christian cross. Then it seemed like they start engaging battle with each other, and this battle lasts about an hour. At the end, it got to a point where we could determine which side was winning and which side was losing. So when this battle reached its peak, when it gets too much, it appeared as if this object was so exhausted that some of them keep falling down from the sun, and a thick smoke was emanating from the spare body. So after witnessing this spectacle for quite some time, we saw that a sizable black color object moving from west to east. You can see in the picture down, the black object moving from west to east. So we don't know the meaning of all that event, only God knows. But we have witnessed so many strange and peculiar occurrences in the sky in recent times, one after another. Now, my question to you is, do you have any explanation for this event? This event was recorded in more than 300 years before the invention of the first aircraft in history, and it's not an event that can be dismissed as a fabrication or lie. There were hundreds of witnesses to this event, and it is also well documented that in the month of following this event, Germany's church were filled with prayer seeking forgiveness from God, because they were really afraid of that event, and they was thinking there is a sign, some kind of sign from the God. And a similar incident, almost identical, occurred 5 years after the Nuremberg event in Basel, Switzerland. However, this time the event was slightly different, because this event happened 3 times in 10 days, which was 27th and 28th July and 7th of August in 1566. This event, known as 1566 celestial phenomena over Basel, you can check on Google as well. It's written on history book. This incident is also part of Switzerland history because booklets were distributed in Switzerland for this event. And I can provide you with testimonies of people who witnessed this event with their own eyes. The beginning of this event was, in fact, the unusual rising of sun, which appeared in such an extraordinary way. The color and shape of the sun suddenly changed. So this was the night of moon eclipse, and the sun was completely red on the next day. And now I will tell you a few sentences according to the booklet. On July 28, 1561, in the city of Switzerland, the sun was shining clearly in the sky. But then around 9 o'clock in the morning, suddenly the color of the sun and its shape changed. At first, the brightness of the sun get lesser and then its size get larger. All the people were watching the event. The road, house and everything around it were illuminated by the light of the sun. But all of it was deep red color. If you read carefully about this event from the booklet, you will understand it was a solar eclipse. But the incident after that, no one has any explanation about it. After that, people in the city saw a black and spear-shaped object in the sky, moving at very high speed, and some of them were emitting sound that sounded as if they were fighting. Some of them look red color and looks angry. Some of them began to break out, and suddenly this phenomena disappeared from their sight. If you heard about these two events, both of which were witnessed by thousands of people with their own eyes and reported to the record. So we have written account of that incident in more details. You can read it from internet. So do you have any explanation for this event? Forget about the explanation. I have a simple question to you. If you were to make a decision regarding this event, what would you say? Considering it, their word indicate that they observed the phenomena with complete certainty and for quite a long time. Because those people were describing the physical properties of those things, estimating the weight of those things, and also estimating the speed of those things, the movement and the flight pattern of those things. People were guessing the density of changing the color and shape of those things, and they were guessing who was winning and who was losing amongst those things. Surely such detail can only provide when they were witnessed before their eyes for hours, for a long time. But one very important thing which a researcher often overlook is that during both events, something strange was happening to the sun, which is not normal. For example, in the first event, there were half red circle on the right and left side on the sun. You can see these half circle red color things. I'll tell you more about this later. So in the second event, the sun had solar eclipse, and these two events are very important, so keep that in your mind. Now I want to tell you about a third event which is not very old, only 70 years ago from today. This event relates to a relatively less famous and renowned place called Alaska Triangle. This is the last part of a state in America where I didn't provide you with much information at the beginning. This area where in 1950, an American military craft went completely missing with its 44 military personnel on board. This craft was searched by 7,000 of American and Canadian military personnel, but there were no sign of their existence. I want to tell you about another incident that happened in 1940, which is a which is at Portlock village in Alaska. So Portlock was a village of successful businessmen. There was really good businessmen and sheep herder, and most of them used to do the fishermen. But in 1940, it was no less than a catastrophe for these people. So Portlock inhabitants began to see the dead bodies of the sheep, cows, and human. They used to see everywhere. Suddenly the animal is dead and people disappearing. And when this terrifying event increased, the people there one by one began to reporting to their police station that a strange and peculiar creature was attacking them. But one thing should be keep in mind here when you talk about Alaska, which is full of wild animal. So are any of these wild animal were attacking these people? It can be, but here I want to explain to you about one specific tribe from Red Indian, which is called Lingit. So they live in Alaska and America, and they have a few specific folklore or stories like other tribe and we have. There was a guy within them named Albert. There is a strange story about him. Albert said that there was a creature with lots of hair attacking him. At that time, his dog was fighting with that creature to save the owner, to save him. And the dog fought this creature, and even this creature fled. But before fleeing, this creature struck a blow to Albert's chest. You can say that maybe some wild animal attacking him, but the fact is that he was a local who was born in the forest and was well aware of this local animal. He knew how to differentiate the description of those animals. He knew that there was a difference between a bear or what he saw. And some people can also say that maybe Albert was lying, but he was not, because after that struck on his chest, he slowly suffered and died. Another incident involving this hairy creature that two brothers in the tribe used to tell everyone what they actually see and faced. So once the big brother was cutting the long tree in corner with a shovel. So he actually cut a big tree and that was half falling down like this picture. And the younger brother was making small pieces of this wood around 20 to 30 feet farther. At that time he saw a huge hairy creature suddenly came in between them, and he lifted the whole tree that his brother cut, and he tried to hit his brother with that tree, and he actually killed him. So he said that it never can be a human, as no human can lift that heavy object. Slowly people keep calling this creature Montiac, as such creature that doesn't look like either human or animal. So even some people keep saying that this creature lives in between two different worlds, and they use an unseen path to come to our world and go back to another world using the same path. And before it leaving, it takes some time, the human and other things with him. So very few people might believe this story, but there is one truth, which is by 1950 all the people left Portlock, the village, and the last person was the postmaster of that village, because he was born and raised in that village. It was very hard for him to leave, as this incident at Portlock increasing day by day, so he had to leave with no choice. After that, the post office was completely shut down and the Portlock was declared as an abandoned city. And now there is nothing left in that city except empty house and old car. I can understand whatever I said till now about Bermuda Triangle, Alaska Triangle and Japan Triangle. You have now more question than answer. But these are not only the surprising event that I told you about. It's just only two surprising incidents that happened in Switzerland and Germany in 1561 and in 1566. Many of you heard about the Spain settler, the Spain who is to colonize America. So they used to come from Spain or Europe to America in 15th century, and they used to make colony there. This colony was in today's North Carolina in America. Amongst all these colonies, there is one specific colony called Roanoke. This colony was completely disappeared without any trace. There were no sign. Even if someone would attack them, they should have some sign of that, but nothing found. The whole colony suddenly disappeared. In the Alaska Triangle, 16,000 people were missing without any trace, and the ships were disappeared. So many ships and airplanes lost in Bermuda Triangle. In some cases, the ship was found, but the crew were completely missing. And also in the Japan Triangle, the ship were lost, and whoever went to search and rescue, they also lost as well. I still didn't give you any answer to this question. Till now I just introduced to you the location and few incidents. Lastly, I will ask you the question, if this incident were true, then why did nothing happen when the blogger went to the Bermuda Triangle to verify? Or why now there is no incident happen like that anymore? What happened in Germany and Switzerland? What could be your answer to this question? Please comment here. I will reveal you slowly in few next series about more incident and what can be the reason for that. Thank you for watching my video.